What's up, guys? This is Z-House from Gun Gamers, and I'm here with...
My name is Lane, the BB Warrior.
So tell me a little bit about your channel.
So the BB Warrior is a channel that's dedicated to helping players have a better time both on and off the airsofting field. Because we all love playing airsoft, so why wouldn't you want to have a better experience when you're playing?
So you can obviously see why we get along. Anyways, so we're talking about something that Lane does a lot of and I don't do very much of, and that is recording gameplay. And more specifically, how recording gameplay can kind of suck sometimes.
So if you've been subscribed to me for a while, I started my channel out with gameplay, and that was kind of the meat and potatoes of my channel, I guess you could say. And over time, I've noticed it's kind of affected my outlook of how I play negatively, and it's made me not have as good of a time when I play.
Yeah, and that's actually why I don't do gameplay usually. So the problem with recording gameplay, from what I've seen, is, number one, airsoft is usually very boring to watch.
Yeah.
It's kind of, you have to sift through so much footage to find the good bits that you're spending hours just watching nothing but airsoft footage and boring yourself to tears editing it, and possibly boring your audience to tears if you upload it raw. And then it also affects how you play because, as Lane was saying, you're trying to get good footage. So you're gonna do stuff that might be dumb, might not help your team. Sometimes people do douchey things to try to get good airsoft footage.
Yeah, because I felt like for me personally, me and my friends could go to a field, like today we're at River City, and I mean, we could be stomping the other team and we could be getting all the objectives and whatnot, but at the end of the day, if I didn't have some epic kill streak airsoft cheater in the hood gone sexual video, if I didn't have a great video at the end of the day, I didn't feel like I had a good time. And that was it made me not appreciate airsoft as much. Like, even when we were doing well, like if I was capturing points and whatnot, but if I wasn't going on some epic airsoft kill streak and I didn't feel like Navrich, then I didn't have as good as a time when I played. So what I've done now is I still run all my equipment. So I've got my ATN shot track. Occasionally I'll run the Brain Exploder scope cam. That's the word I'm trying to say. And I'll still run my GoPro. However, I try not to base what I do on YouTube around that anymore. I mean, if I catch something really cool, like the Guardian mission at AMS,
yep,
that was cool. So I like it. I like still running it because if something happens, like if I catch like Eric falling on his ass or something, then I have that, so I can laugh at that for the rest of my life. But
and post it on his channel.
Yeah.
House Gun Gamers almost died.
Almost died playing airsoft, but I can have that if something cool happens. However, I don't like to depend on that for my channel because like Eric and Andre, I like to have consistency in when I post content. I like to post every Tuesday and Friday, and if I don't, I feel weird about it. Like I feel like I did something bad. So it's just, especially for someone that makes content here on YouTube, you'll understand that you like to have that consistency because that's what your audience likes. And if you feel like you didn't get good footage, that really puts a damper on the rest of the day.
That's actually why prominent example, Level Cap quit airsoft because he based his entire airsofting career on the footage he was getting from airsoft, and it was putting too much stress on him, and that and other stuff just piled up and made it not fun. So that's why 95% of the time you see me on the airsoft field, I have no cameras. I probably have my phone on me somewhere and I might take some pictures every now and then, but I have no cameras on me when I play airsoft because I like to just go out, relax, have a good time, probably have a cigar in the middle of the field, and then just when I go to big games or when I go to certain games, I just run the GoPro, and if something really cool happens, my camera wasn't working during the Guardian mission, unfortunately, but the rappelling thing at Gladio was super cool. I was glad to have that on camera. The Never Trust a Dead Man story at Milsim West, that was super awesome to have on camera. So instead, I run the GoPro only for highlights. So I know exactly where to look in my footage to find it, and then I can just upload that relatively unedited, maybe with some commentary, and it's not a lot of work, and it's just sharing a cool story as opposed to putting a ton of work into putting together this gameplay montage that at the end of the day, I didn't have much fun making. And that's the point of content for me, is to have fun making it.
Like that's what I used to do, is I used to go somewhere and I could spend an entire day playing, and I could have one cool moment, and like at the end of the footage, if I didn't say, hey, that was really cool to myself, like if I didn't say that out loud, I'd probably forget about it. And it's, like Eric said, editing takes a lot of time, especially if you're putting out really polished content like Level Cap did, for example, Airsoft takes a lot of time. Now, that's part of the reason why he said he stopped making content, was because in the time that it would take him to make an Airsoft video, think about how much content he could make for his main meat and potatoes of his channel, Battlefield. So editing takes a very long time, especially if you're not going for just like the highlight reel video, like if you're not doing like a speed soft montage or something. You have to go through an entire day's worth of footage, and if that's what you depend on for your channel, if something messes up with your camera, like the last time I played Airsoft, my scope cam stopped working. And that was kind of frustrating for me, because I was looking to get some gameplay I was doing a loadout video, and I wanted some stuff to put in the background as B-roll. So not having that work was frustrating, and you shouldn't be frustrated based off your gear when you're playing Airsoft. I mean, you shouldn't be angry when you play Airsoft, and it's a lot of stress where there doesn't need to be. So I like to do like what Eric said. If there's a cool moment that happens, I have that on footage, and that's cool. However, I don't want to rely on that, if that makes sense. I don't want to rely on that to make my content, whereas I can sit here in front of a camera with my friends and have a discussion, and that's
way more fun.
That's way more fun to do, because you get to BS around, but two, it's more consistent, because let's be honest, when you go out on the airsoft field, you could have a bad day. I mean, you could just not get that epic airsoft kill streak in the hood, and you're not, and that's frustrating. And that's one of the things I noticed. Like, everyone else would have a great time except for me, because I felt like I didn't get that good footage, and I wouldn't have anything to post, and that would make me worry. And someone who does a lot outside of airsoft, like if I include YouTube, I work 3 jobs, so it's a lot of stress to be under.
Yep.
And like if I know that I'm not gonna have a video one day, it stresses me out, and it's just a lot of irritation and frustration that doesn't need to exist. So that's why I try not to base my channel around gameplay.
I do want to say, though, that I actually have a lot of respect for some of the channels that do post a lot of gameplay and do consistent, well-edited, well-polished content, because I know how hard it is.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
So that's the thing. If you are consistently putting out gameplay footage that's well-edited, well-put together, and you're still having fun playing the game, this isn't, us trying to say, oh, well, you should feel bad, you're doing it wrong. We're just saying, personal factors that might make gameplay more frustrating and might explain why some guys either don't do it or don't do it as often as you'd like. Yeah. It's just kind of giving the other side a little bit of exposure.
Yeah, I mean, like, if YouTube's your job, for example, or it's your part-time job and you have the time to do it, if you can put together really well-polished gameplay, it does well on YouTube. And for people like Jet and Leia,
Brain Exploder.
Yeah, Brain Exploder uploads a new gameplay video like every week.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. That takes a lot of work. Just coming from us who know editing videos like that. Editing airsoft gameplay takes a lot of work, especially these guys like Brain Exploder and Navrich who keep like 5 cameras on them.
Yeah.
Because
you have to go through each SD card and sort that.
Because every camera that you add adds a ton of more time to editing. It's just keeping all those tracks lined up. If you've never edited before, that might not make sense, but having to line it all up and make sure that you're making all the cuts when you do, it takes a lot of time, and it takes more time for every camera you have on there. So I mean, guys like Navrich, for example, who can put out a gameplay video every week, that's a crazy amount of work, and I have some respect for people that can do that much editing and not hate themselves.
Yep.
Yeah, so if you're looking to get into airsoft on YouTube, you're looking to start up your own channel, I think that's something that airsoft on YouTube needs, is more honest reviewers, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, gameplay is cool.
Gameplay is great. I'm not saying you shouldn't do gameplay if you want to.
But at the same time, there's so much bought content, I guess you could say, on YouTube that sometimes it's refreshing to see someone give their honest opinion on guns and issues in the community, like this guy Eric I know.
We have a lot of fun here.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing, too. If you're going to do airsoft on YouTube, airsoft is a hobby, airsoft is a game, and I'm probably going to be telling some of you that Santa isn't real, but it's a fact I do accept too. There's a 99.99% probability that airsoft will never be your job.
What do you mean Santa isn't real? But yeah, there's probably a good chance airsoft won't be your job, and this will just be a hobby. I mean, there are a lot of people on YouTube who put out videos every day, and it's not their job, and I don't get it. I don't get how they have time for that. I mean, I work 8 hours a day, and I can still only put out 2 videos a week. And then I have my business on top of that, which takes up time. So
it's one of those things where you just kind of have to realize that however you're going to run your channel needs to be the way that you're going to have the most fun running it.
Yeah.
And that will let you have the longest time.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, have fun with it. Because this is all a hobby. make sure that, at least from a creator standpoint, being consistent goes a long way. So I mean, every week, every other week, 2 days in a week, like you do what?
Yeah, I do
Sunday,
Wednesday and Sunday.
and then I do Tuesday, Friday.
Or
So
Tuesday night, or super late Wednesday, or maybe Thursday if I'm lazy.
close enough. But yeah, just consistency goes a long way on YouTube.
So yeah, that's I guess that's our point. I guess that's our little discussion here. So once again, I'm E-House.
And my name is Lane, the BB Warrior.
Be sure to check out his channel. He's another up-and-comer here on YouTube, and we have a lot of fun playing together too, so it's always nice.
Why don't we get out there and play?
That's all right.
All right, see you next time.
Peace.